Thanks for watching what Miz is watching. Like, subscribe, comment. Have you ever been wrong? Like, hold yourself accountable for what you did. Like, thought about your thoughts or thought about God. Was you wrong about what you believe in? I don't know. Let's take a look.
Go.
So now, that's the frontier of science. Now, am I where this woman was trying to get me to say when was the last time I was wrong? No, because I figured out what she meant.
What does she mean?
Is there something I believe really strongly with my heels dug in and I'm resisting evidence to the contrary?
Yeah.
Then I'd be wrong and embarrassed by that. She was going a new place that I think pervades in our society. There people are certain of what they think and will fight you if you think something different. And they can't be, if they are wrong, they can't be convinced of it.
Well, see, that's the thing. Because when you have that belief, which is not scientific, because beliefs, as I have said, I don't believe this. I don't believe in science. I just believe the science.
Yeah, it's not something to believe in.
It's not something to believe in.
Yeah. As I said, the good thing about science is true whether or not you believe in it.
Right.
And of course, what I mean by that is the science, not the frontier, because we're all wrong most of the time. It's after that filters in.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You can't just say I want to repeal the law of gravity.
I don't believe it.
Because you gained 3 pounds last week.
Right. I don't believe it. Right.
Ate too many Big Macs.
Which, by the way, that is the defense, and you'll see people make this defense. I don't believe it.
Right. And so that was the category of belief that I think she was inquiring within me. And I carry no such beliefs that would be susceptible to that question. Because I am
always open to the possibility?
Yes. Because I'm a scientist and evidence matters.
Now, this is what everybody right now who is watching this,
Yes.
this is what they're all asking.
What's that?
So then do you leave open the possibility that there may be a God
Of
that
course.
created everything?
Of course. All the time.
Oh, snap!
No, that's not a snap
No,
thing.
wait a minute.
No,
We
no.
have just really opened up something. No one believes that about you.
Let's assume that there's something in me that we can call belief. Okay? The level of belief I place in something will always be proportional to the evidence that supports it. Imagine your whole life pivots on something that you believe is true.
Oh, I don't have to imagine that. That's already happened.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this might be the case, for example, in religions.
Yeah.
Okay? So Christianity pivots on the resurrection of Jesus. Okay? That's a major feature of Christianity, and belief in that is a major tenet of what it is to be a Christian. Suppose you had access to a time machine, and you say, of all the events in the Earth history, what do you want to witness?
I want to go back to the day where the rock was rolled away.
Exactly. Okay, so
And
let's
they
say...
said, the angel said, he is not here.
Okay, so now, you go back to that day.
Uh-huh.
And you see thieves roll it away and steal the body. That would be information that would completely destabilize.
Crush everything.
That's right. So that's the extreme version of what I think she was asking me. When was the last time you were wrong? And she wanted to know how willingly would I give up thinking I was right. So that's an extreme. I give that just as an extreme.
I got you. But from a neurological standpoint, it wouldn't make a difference to most people. They would enter a state of cognitive dissonance, and they would find a reason why that information that they see visually does not match with their belief, and then they would find a way to reconcile
cases,
it.
so that they preserve
Exactly.
the belief. I think that's the most extreme example
Yeah.
of what it would be to have a belief challenged. And so if you bring evidence to me,
Right.
that
So let me ask you something. If you wrong, like, all right, so if somebody brings something to you, like information, you believe something totally different. Like, you believe Jerusalem is the almighty place of God, and somebody bring you information and basically tell you you're wrong, and your whole time believing this your whole life, and you've been told that you're wrong, how would you feel? Like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, for real, usually information stumble across you, or when somebody tell you something, you do a research. You get what I'm saying? And then once you do the research and you find out the truth behind it, then like you start to change or start to work in emotion, or you go in the direction of what you feel comfortable, that you feel decision making wise towards that decision or towards that belief or towards that information. But like that's crazy. Like it's different levels, you know what I'm saying? Because like you could be thinking that you dealing with a person and they all in on you and everything, and you could be totally wrong and you find out other information or you find out otherwise. Then like just like God, you telling me that if that's why, I believe in a universe, you know what I'm saying? A higher power, you know what I'm saying? Because you know everybody got their own belief in what they believe in. You get what I'm saying? So it's just
that is compelling.
it's just
Either
crazy
better
how
evidence or more evidence, or
we
I
think.
both.
Okay.
They'll say, "Hey, I haven't thought about it that way. Thank you. I will be thankful to the person for calling that to my attention."
Right.
So that's why I kind of look like a dog hears a high pitched sound when she asked that question. What's, and then I had to work my way to realize what she meant by it. Because as a scientist, I don't want to say I delight in being wrong. I delight in being corrected.
Ooh,
That's a difference.
that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yes. Correction always involves advancement and learning.
Yes,
Always.
at all times.
At all times.
Some people are so brilliant that even when they're wrong, they're right.
Okay, now you sound like Scarface. I always tell the truth, even when I lie.
Okay. So Albert Einstein, when he wrote his general theory of relativity, which is the understanding of gravity and the structure of space-time across the universe, it would be applied that way by people like later than that theory.
Right.
He didn't do it all, but he laid the foundations for it.
Okay.
In his equation, there's a mathematical term that, if it had a physical reality, it would be an anti-gravity force.
Are we talking the famous E equals MC squared
No,
equation?
no.
Oh,
Okay,
okay,
so
I was gonna say.
this is an equation for the universe, and he said, well, all the galaxies in the universe.
That's brilliant. I already see it.
Wait. All
No,
the
but go ahead.
galaxies left to themselves would have the universe collapse
Come
onto
on
itself.
right,
But,
so-
but we're not collapsing.
Right.
So this term would be this pressure force pushing against everything, keeping it in balance. But we don't know anything that's doing that. And so he puts it in there because he has no other way to understand a universe that would not
That
collapse
doesn't
on itself.
collapse.
Okay, he has no way to understand it. So he leaves it in. It's called the cosmological constant. And many, many decades later, by the way, when I'm in graduate school, when we calculate cosmology, we have to put in the constant and say it equals 0. You have to do that because it belongs in the equation. Okay? When Hubble discovered that the universe was expanding, then it's no longer a static universe, and he doesn't need the pressure
There
to
is
hold it
no-
up against collapsing.
you don't.
And then he said, then he discarded it as this non-physical thing that the math gave him, but it has no physical counterpart, and he called it his greatest blunder of his life.
Oh my goodness.
Until we discovered this negative gravity pressure in the universe, that it's called dark energy.
Exactly.
A Nobel Prize has been given for it.
Yeah.
A Nobel Prize was given for what he rejected. And so Einstein's biggest blunder was saying that.
So basically, you telling me that bad and good have to exist. Good and bad has to exist. Yin and yang. It always has to be a balance, up and down. Once you go up the escalator, you got to come back down the escalator. It's a balance to life. You got to have two. You got to have a receiver and a giver. Female, male. You got to have two. Feminine, masculine. You got to have two. Worker, boss. You got to have two. God and devil. You got to have two.
That was his biggest blunder.
Exactly. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So anyhow, he was wrong but right.
God, that guy was just so smart.
Yeah. Anyhow, we're done here.
All
We out.
right.
Thanks for joining us
Yeah.
on An Explainer on Being Wrong.